When I began my career working on lakes and managing water quality and managing fisheries in lakes, the most powerful method available for assessment and management was called adaptive management. And that was an approach for exploring the safe operating space for a water supply or a fishery, and it was done in consultation with managers and then modelers, and it was very powerful, but it could easily become a rather technical approach that the public could not identify with very well. Scenario planning builds on the adaptive management approach, but instead of technical models, the models are stories. And the stories are about exploring the safe operating space of the fishery or the water supply or the agricultural area, whatever the system of interest may be. And to develop those stories, there are interviews and small meetings of citizens and people like me, and we talk about what ordinary people believe makes the system resilient. What do they believe makes it at risk, makes it vulnerable? What do they believe is a desirable future? What would they like to see happen? And what do they fear? What do they fear as an adverse, negative outcome? And this space becomes useful for developing stories about the future. And often those stories can be developed during a workshop with the general public, because humans think naturally in stories. Stories are really what we build our world of. Then from those stories that emerge from the workshops, the team, the committee that's doing the scenario planning, can write up the stories, perhaps develop artwork for them, reflect them back to the public, to the citizens, get criticism and comments from the public, then modify the scenarios and evolve toward a product that could be put on a website or used as a teaching tool, taught more broadly. In some cases, we then, after that stage is done, we bring in modeling. And there are some things that can be calculated with models. For example, food output of a watershed, the effect of climate change on food production, water quality, the risk of toxic blooms of cyanobacteria. Many of those things can actually be calculated given a story. And so the product may be stories plus model estimates, but the main thing is the process of story building with a group of ordinary people and perhaps a few experts who know some of the technical background. And I found this to be a very powerful approach. I've used it in 2 regions of Wisconsin. I was the co-leader of global scenarios for the Millennium Ecosystem Assessment, and I've advised groups on how to do this process. And I believe it is a very good way of looking forward and at the same time thinking about what the risks are, the dangers of the future, and thinking about a way to stay in the safe operating space and have a future that seems desirable for as many people as possible and avoids those risky thresholds, the dangerous boundaries that we do not want to cross.